Okay, friends, let's get ready for the 4th episode of the I Am Show. I am heading over to Howard and Tiffany's home. Howard Bell and Tiffany Bell, husband and wife, co-founders of Yielded Life, where they travel, they go far and wide, sharing and teaching what it truly means to live a yielded life. So you're going to be blown away, so inspired, so encouraged. So Howard is actually a quadriplegic man who has defeated all the odds, all the limitations that were ever set up for him. He has graced stages worldwide, sharing his story and really sharing the message that there are no limits for those who believe. So just wait until we dive into the story. Again, if you have ever wanted to stop living with the feeling of never being good enough, Howard and Tiffany are going to share what that means and what that looks like. And we cannot wait to share this episode with you. So let's go. Hey, Tiffany, how are you?
I'm so well.
Good. Thank you so much for having us. So good to see you.
Please come in.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Hey, Howard.
Howard, how are you? We're so excited. Thanks so much for being with us and joining us for the I Am Show. Let's get into the conversation.
It's our privilege. We can't wait.
Hey guys, we're here at Estrella Mountain Ranch in Goodyear, Arizona, and we cannot wait to get into this 4th episode, 4th conversation of the I Am Show. It's going to be so good. Joining us are our amazing guests, Howard and Tiffany Bell, co-founders of the Yielded Life. They're going to talk to us, really share their story, and also share what it means to truly live a yielded life. Howard and Tiffany, we cannot wait to get into this conversation.
We're super excited. It's going to be such a good time
It
today.
is.
It's gonna be amazing.
Yes. And you know what? Speaking of amazing, I hear there's an amazing lake around the corner, South Lake.
Right.
So why don't we head over there and just dive in? Well, not dive into the actual lake, but dive into the conversation.
That sounds like so much fun. I'm so
Yes.
excited to do this today.
Oh, wow.
So let's head over there and let's get into this combo.
Sounds
that's
like a
perfect.
plan.
This is the most beautiful van. This is so impressive. So now the moment that we've been waiting for, we're here at the lake, we've sat down, we had the ride over in the beautiful van. So let's get into the meat of the conversation. We just really want to know about you, Howard and Tiffany. We want to know about your stories. So we'll start with you, Howard. Who is Howard Bell?
Well, in a short answer, Howard Bell is a 53-year-old man who has seen God do amazing things. I was born and diagnosed at the age of 1 with infantile spinal muscular atrophy. My parents were told that I probably wouldn't live past the age of 5, and at the most the age of 12. Because the type of disability or diagnosis I had was so new and so rare at the time, they had not made the advancements that they've made today. And my parents believed and trusted God and taught me Philippians 4:13 immediately, which is I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Yeah.
And they also taught me that the Word of God says that by His stripes we were healed. Actually, Luke 4:18 is, for the Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, for He's anointed me. And I've always been taught that God makes us for a reason and a purpose. And I guess all of my life, I've seen His hand time after time. Whether it's through high school where they said I would never graduate, I graduated valedictorian. Whether it was in college where they said, again, I wouldn't graduate. graduated from junior college with valedictorian and ASU as summa cum laude. And then when they said you'll never be accepted on world stages as a minister or as a business owner because your stature and your size. And I knew at a very early age that I could choose whether I wanted to yield to what they said or believe what my Creator said.
Yeah.
The I am, the one who says, if I am, then you are. And so I have really incorporated that in my life. It's not the things that I've accomplished, but the things He's allowed me to accomplish because of yielding to what He says over what society or even my own internal voice says. And one of the biggest things in my life that was said growing up was, you'll never get married. It'll be very difficult for anybody to marry someone with the limited abilities that you have. And I didn't realize it, but as I was growing up, even though it was in the back of my mind, I yielded to that mindset. It's not fair, won't be right, I gotta be a millionaire so that that person never has to do anything. And set all the goals to become a millionaire. Still reset the goals and reset the goals. But God said, I am.
Yeah.
And God said, are you gonna yield to what man says, or are you gonna yield to what I say? And that's how, in short, I met my wife, who understood that yielding to what God said would unlock so many things in her life.
Yeah.
And I met my wife in 2021, and in 22 we got married. And it has been an amazing journey of living a yielded life together, not just in marriage, but in everything that we do.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. And speaking of your beautiful wife sitting in front of me right now, Tiffany. So tell us a little bit about you, Tiffany. We want to hear a little bit about who you are and a little bit about your story.
You know, I feel like I'm someone that has just been given things to overcome since I can remember. And at one point I felt like, oh gosh, I don't know if you've ever felt this way. I felt like I was just checking off statistics, right? You know, my mom and dad got divorced. My dad went to prison.
Yeah.
I was a single mom. I'm like, oh. But in that, God gave me so many opportunities to just demonstrate what happens when you yield,
Yes.
right? I was yielding, I think, before we ever met and put a title on it. But when I met Howard, things changed. I quickly realized God was bringing us together on purpose for a purpose.
Yeah.
And people often ask me, they're like, well, you know, is Howard's disability a roadblock for you? And I often say, what disability?
Yeah.
He's one of the most capable people I know. It's not that I'm ignorant to needs or things that he needs, but it's that he meets so many of mine and others people's needs that it's hard to even think about it in that format, you know?
Yes.
So I think we've reframed and redefined a little bit about what love looks like. You know, we all think that when we get to heaven, we're gonna love each other, no matter what color of our skin, where we come from, whatever it might be. We don't really understand we can yield to that here on earth.
Yes.
It doesn't have to look like a cookie cutter look, as long as it stays within the laws of God, right?
Yeah.
And so when me and Howard met, it was, he snuck up on me. I'm gonna be honest.
He was sneaky?
He was sneaky.
I don't know that I was sneaky.
He was sneaky.
I think
He
I was
sneaky.
pretty overt.
Okay, covert. But
Overt.
so I feel like that Howard became such an integral part of my day and then my life without me even knowing it. And I remember the Lord really speaking to me. I knew Howard had a desire to get married.
Yeah.
And I had been through a marriage that was painful. And so I wasn't exactly excited about that thought, but I was excited about Howard. And so I started praying, and I was like, you know, God, just I know you're gonna send Howard a wife, someone that's gonna love him. And then I started praying very specifically. You ever done that? And I was like, she needs to be this, and she needs to be that. And, and I realized I wrote my own resume.
Wow.
Because at the end of the day, I was like, well, who can do this but me?
Yeah.
You know? And I think my heart wrote myself into a job that I already knew I had. And So yeah, it was a quick coming together as far as understanding what God was doing. But the moment that he allowed us to just have that union, our feet hit the ground running.
Yeah.
And God just put a ministry before us and people before us. And it was so wild. You know, when home is complete, you can go out and minister. You know, we look at the Proverbs woman and we all want to be that, right? Don't all of us little girls go, please, Lord, her. But she could do what she did because her home was in a good place. And so we keep our home in unity. We don't allow anything to really come in or out that, you know, that doesn't blend us. And then in ministry, we are just as unified. And so everything we do as a unified front, and we believe that two are better than one.
Absolutely.
So.
And I just love too, and knowing each of your stories individually, knowing your story individually, where you came from and everything you walked through. And then Howard, your story, I just love how God, you know, and that's just, he's just amazing that way, right? Because he takes our individual journeys and our growth and everything that we've been through. But I love how he collectively brought you both together, really. And we were talking a little bit about that in the van, really ultimately for the assignment, the mission, together, both of you together to move as one in the places and the spaces that he is sending you and he is calling you to, which is so, so powerful. What if the breakthrough you've been searching for was never found in striving, but in yielding? So many live carrying the weight of never feeling good enough. But through Christ, there's freedom, healing, and true identity. In Yielded, the Posture of True Love, Howard Bell reveals a powerful truth. Yielding is more than an act of obedience or submission. It's choosing to align with the process from the mindset and heart of love. Centered in Christ, this journey will challenge you to surrender, trust the process, and discover the joy of true success through the posture of love. Yielded, the posture of true love. So speaking of that, let's talk a little bit about Yielded Life, because I know that, you know, we were talking earlier that it's a big mission. It's a big assignment that you have. So tell us a little bit about, you know, a little bit more about Yielded Life.
You know, for me, I had to get the picture of what yielding looks like, right? And I feel like the closest thing we ever can kind of put together in our little minds is the trust fall. You ever seen that demonstration done?
Yes.
Doesn't that just make your heart
It's
sick?
like, no, do I go? Do I not go?
I used to see these things in like business meetings and things like that. And it was like Sally from accounting that's going to catch you. And I'm like, she don't even like me. More or less catch me. And so I couldn't grasp that picture. And so I said, Lord, show me what it looks like. Show me what it looks like for me. And he said, I never asked you to fall backwards, but will you fall forward? He said, Tiffany, fall forward and lay your head on my chest so that your ear is pressed to my heart, so that you hear what I want to tell the world, what I want to show and demonstrate to the world. That's when I called it. When I called it, I was like, oh God, you have my yes. You have my yielded yes. So my yes is conditional, right? If the weather's right, if I feel good, but my yielded yes means if nobody goes, I still go. If nobody shows up today, I still show up. Because God is wanting to cry out and speak to his children, and somebody has to go. And we're fortunate. We do not feel pressed upon or burdened. We're fortunate. We are chosen to go, and that's the most exciting thing. We didn't choose ourselves. We probably couldn't have dreamt that big. So God has really done just a fantastic work in that.
I think it's also important to understand that yielding is the act of presentation. So it's like the little kid that has a surprise in their hand. And you go, what's in your hand? And the kid goes, I don't want to show you. It's a prize. And whenever the person that they love says, no, show me. I want to see it.
Right.
Yielding is that act of opening up your hand to let someone else see what you have. And I think that, you know, one of the things that people will ask me is, if we ask Yielded Life to come, you know, what is it? Who do you speak to? And we kind of chuckle because one of our missional phrases is, we speak and teach yielding to everyone from the incarcerated to the incorporated.
Absolutely.
There isn't a walk of life where yielding, if embraced,
For sure.
won't produce success.
Yeah.
Oftentimes we have people that are running businesses that have yielded to, I have to work. And we
Right.
come in and say, well, maybe you're yielding or presenting your talents to the wrong thing or in the wrong way. In other words, when we start feeling like we have to do something,
Yeah.
we're no longer in charge of it, it's in charge of us. So we've yielded to a mindset that goes deeper than I have a great job.
Yeah.
We've yielded to a mindset of I need to make money in order to survive.
For sure.
And so then what causes burnout is when we walk outside of opening our hand, instead we're being forced to use what's in our hand in a way
Right.
that we were never intended to use it.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's really powerful.
Yeah.
Because you do take that message, far and wide, right? Because like you just mentioned, Howard, and this is something that we talked about earlier, you go into businesses, into churches, into schools, and you're sharing and teaching
Right.
what this message of yielding looks like in all areas
That's
of
right.
life.
Yeah.
Because it's really applicable to all areas of life, right?
It is.
So what would your message be to that person watching who, it doesn't matter their walk
Yeah.
of faith right now, but what would your message be to the person on what does it look like to truly live a yielded life?
Well, it provides freedom. There's a certain type of freedom that comes with yielding. You know, if I feel like I have to be in control of my everything,
Yeah.
oh man, don't us women love that? I know guys do too, but we love that. I'm like, yes, give it to me. I will juggle 15 things. But at the end of the day, I may have accomplished 15 things and felt good about none. And so yielding finds the purpose in everyday living out loud with love.
Okay.
And so I would tell a person, tell me where you're struggling and I'll show you where you're not yielded. Because if his, yoke is easy and his burden is light and you're struggling, we're not yielding. And that's just not a cliche thing to say. That's hey, there's a mindset, there's a shift that wants to come your way that's going to bring some freedom.
Yeah.
When I get up or Howard gets up in the morning and our schedules seem so full, people are like, oh, that must be so hard. No, we get to do that. That was one of the first things that Howard challenged me. I used to say things like everybody else, and I was like, oh, we have to do these things today. Not bad, but we just have to do them. He goes, you don't have to do anything. You get to do them. And we are actually, just like many viewers and me and you, we are living out loud the prayers we prayed silently somewhere.
Yes.
We get to do this.
Yes.
We get to share.
Sorry, baby. I think it also is important to understand that living a yielded life requires intentionality.
For sure.
I think far too many people start out dreaming when they're younger.
Right.
A college student that comes in, what yielding looks like to them is, why are you taking the courses you're taking?
That's right.
What do you want to be? Is there a reason why you're failing communication? Is it because you look at communication as an unnecessary class? If so, then you're yielding to, I have to. So what is it that you can look at in that class that you can turn around and say, no, I get to learn this? Because there's something I don't know
Yeah.
somewhere that I'm going to need this particular class.
Yeah.
For sure.
I remember being a high school math instructor in a junior high. Every kid comes in, I hate algebra, I hate it. I'll never use it, I don't know the purpose of it. And I'd say, really? You're at a grocery store and you need to buy 3 items, but you only have $5. What's the maximum amount you can spend on each item? And they would blurt out the answer right away. Well, that's not algebra. It actually is. You're yielding to the concept that it's hard. You're not yielding to the idea that it's a necessary thing that you're going to use in your life because you're looking at the right now and forgetting about the tomorrow.
Yeah.
So yielding is understanding that there is a tomorrow, not living in the tomorrow, but allowing the tomorrow and the dreams that you have in front of you to guide your journey rather than succumbing to the right now situations.
One thing that I saw on the website of Yielded Life, Howard, is there was a mention on how you have shared the message far and wide that physical and emotional limitations don't have to limit the purpose that God has for your life. And I think that's really powerful. And you walk that out. You just such a living testament of that. So when did you feel like, how did you know that this was your calling?
You know, I've been asked that so many times.
Yeah.
And in short, the answer is, I don't know when I did know it. And I know that sounds arrogant, but I can remember as early as 4 and 5 years old, knowing that if I was going to get anywhere in this world, I had to choose not to be limited by someone's opinion or by my own of what I saw in the mirror.
Right.
And then if I fast forward to the age of like 40, living life, having already been an executive in a very large charter school in Arizona and having been in worldwide ministry of sorts, I reached a point where God had to literally ask me if I would yield. I got sick and went to the hospital while at work, ended up in a coma, and I heard a voice say, "Will you yield?" I woke up and I'd like to say that I was like, "Yes, Lord," and it was one of them angelic moments, but I did what so many people do. And I said, "How dare you? How much more yielded can you get? I can't wipe my nose, I can't eat on my own, I can't." And I started listing all of the I can'ts to God, to the I am. And he wasn't moved by my attempt to manipulate him with my emotions. And it was in that moment that he kept asking me, "Will you yield?" That I understood that what I had began to do is once I had started experiencing what the world terms as success, I forgot who he is. I began to think of who I am instead of him being the I am.
Okay.
And when things didn't come out right, or when things didn't finish the way I thought they should finish, I would say things like, if it's going to get done right, I got to do it myself. I started becoming self-reliant instead of interdependent on the one that created me. So I think to answer your question, when you're born, at least when I was born with a disability in a very small town, in a very, let's just say, non-progressive mindset of a community, there wasn't a lot of opportunity or hope given to me that I didn't have to, let me rephrase that I didn't get to go to the Word of God and say, what does this say? If David could pick up stones and throw them at a giant, and everybody said he couldn't. If Daniel could sit in a lion's den after being told by those in leadership, you will not pray, and he still did it anyway. If Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and if the disciples of Jesus Christ could get told, you're not going to do it or we're going to kill you, then who am I to believe that it's my words? I like what the Apostle Paul said, and I've lived by it my whole life. I come to you not with enticing words of man's wisdom, but in the power and the demonstration of the Holy Spirit, which means I don't live on my own. So for me, I've always known that yielding meant to, and I think this is really important to say.
Okay.
Since so many people viewed me as insignificant, I was determined to show his significance.
Yes.
And so, as a person growing up, I did not realize until I got older that at some point I took yielding to God and turned it into yielding to self. And then God reminded me at 40 if I would yield to him and I would help others yield to mindsets that would change their life, then when I leave this earth, I'm not leaving a legacy of Howard Bell. I'm leaving a legacy of other people's lives, whether they've been in prison for 50 years.
That's right.
Whether they've been a sex offender, or a CEO of a corporation, or a single mother, or a college student that doesn't even know what they want to do with their life. If you can leave that legacy, every individual is a flower in God's garden. And if I have the opportunity to water it with my story and with my life, then his harvest is huge.
I am Tiffany.
And I am Howard. I am Yielded Life.